loser Jeanine Pirro, or as some of you have taken to calling her, Pirro Grigio, which I love, is continuing to rack up a pretty impressive losing streak in court. The latest happened on Thursday, where DOJ prosecutors informed a judge that they were withdrawing federal charges against a man that they accused of making death threats against President Donald Trump. Well, that would be very serious, right? Now, the thing is, once again, they just couldn't close the deal. Now, the Office of Pirro, the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, had alleged that Eduardo Alexander Dana had broken a light fixture outside of a D.C. restaurant on August 17th. And while he was in police custody, had allegedly said that he would kill the President of the United States. Now, his attorneys were like, the guy was drunk, and he was singing in the police cruiser. And somehow, during that's when he had made the alleged threat. Now, his lawyers argued once again that his remarks were basically no more than the idle ramblings of a drunk person, something Jeanine Pirro you would think would be very familiar with. That was pretty much her entire show. Okay. Look, this is yet another of the cases brought to court during Trump's federal takeover of DC's law enforcement that defense attorneys have described as nothing more than prosecutorial overreach that is unworthy of a federal court's time. Wow. Now, a federal magistrate judge agreed, along with a DC grand jury, who refused to indict Dana. Now, hold on. I thought that it was supposed to be very, very easy to secure an indictment. I mean, so easy that you could indict a ham sandwich. And yet, Jeanine Pirro is 0 for 7. Yes, 0 for 7. Again, the ruling here by Judge Zia M. Faruqui basically is a 7th loss in a row for this woman. Okay. Now, during his ruling, he went so far as to quote the Justice Manual for U.S. Attorneys, which says that prosecutors should not pursue federal cases unless they believe the defendant is likely to be found guilty. That seems to make sense, right? But no, that's not what Pirro is doing. Pirro is going balls to the wall, okay? And that earned her a rebuke. In a Thursday court order, Faruqui called out Pirro's office for their inexcusable actions in their latest weak case, the one against Dana. He demanded to know what was being done to, quote, remedy what happened to Mr. Dana. So not only is he not going to be charged, the judge is like, I think you owe him, okay? For example, you should expunge his arrest record. Because this is BS. Absolute BS. So much for the DC crackdown. More like the DC crack up. Okay, but anyway, Faruqui then wrote, given that there have been an unprecedented number of cases that the U.S. attorney dismissed in the past 10 days, all of whom were detained for some period of time, the court has left the question if this principle still applies. Okay, speaking of principles being applied here, you know what I see happening? Jury nullification. You love to see it, okay? And not because we love criminals. It's because obvious overreach is obvious. That, again, they're literally claiming, Pirro, for example, that, these things that generally are misdemeanors are worth felony charges. Not only that, but they have, on numerous cases, accused defendants of assaulting federal officers, when in many of these, there was either no assault that happened or no video evidence to corroborate any of their claims. Because National Guardsmen, for example, are not required to wear body cameras. And in the cases where there were video, for example, the Subway sandwich thrower that I talked about, well, throwing a sandwich isn't a felony, okay? Throwing a sandwich is not a felony, all right? And so they tried to charge him with a felony anyway. And no, not a felony, not a felony. And by the way, Jeanine Pirro, after that had happened, she made a big show of like, we're going to come after him with felony charges. He's not laughing now. Well, actually, no, he probably is. I mean, we're all laughing here. We're all laughing at Jeanine Pirro because she's a joke. She's an absolute joke. No, at most, he may face misdemeanor charges for throwing a sandwich. Okay. Now, in another case, prosecutors claimed that a D.C. woman had assaulted an FBI agent while immigration and customs enforcement agents were carrying out an inmate swap. Okay. Now, remember, the grand juries had declined in this case to indict the woman, not once, not twice, but 3 times. 3 strikes, you are out. Okay. Hilarious, but not unexpected. Very expected. Here's the thing. Everyone knows, except for, I guess, apparently Donald Trump, okay, that Jeanine Pirro is an idiot, okay? Fox News executives, they knew because they had to work with her. I got some quotes here that are amazing, and they were part of legal documents that were made public last month as part of the defamation suit brought against Fox News by Smartmatic. Here they are. One Fox News executive had called her, and this is, again, after the 2020 election. This is, when she still had her show, and she was doing all these conspiracy theories about voter fraud, whatever. Now, one Fox News executive had called her a, quote, reckless maniac. Another said, I do not trust her to be responsible. A third went after her tendency to find random conspiracy theories on weird internet sites. And another Fox corporate board member had called her, one of her public statements, quote, insane. Insane. So that's what people that she worked for on the network, Fox News, that's what they thought of her. That's what they thought of her. In the filings, Fox News executive Jerry Andrews had wrote to 2 other executives on November 20th, 2020, that Jeanine's script for that show was, quote, rife with conspiracy theories and BS, and yet is another example of why this woman should never be on live television. There it is. The people that employed her were like, that woman is crazy. She should not be on TV. And then what happened? They put her on TV. I mean, they took away her show, but they then put her on The Five. And that's probably why Trump picked her, because she is on TV and she was saying a lot of the things that Donald Trump liked to hear. And now she is the DC Attorney General. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, all right? But she's such a failure, such a clown, that she cannot get any indictments. And there you go. Again, not exactly a shocker here because of, everything that we've already seen, but still hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.